This is how I scaled a digital service from $30,000 a month to $130,000 a month, all within 90 days. And listen closely, because exactly what I go over in this video could be the reason why you're unable to scale your service. I know exactly what it's like to try and scale a service and it comes to no avail. You try everything under the sun and nothing comes of it. But now I run a service that does $250,000 a month, and I've implemented exactly what worked for my service onto my client's service and was able to scale him. And the best part is we only spend 5 minutes a day on his ads. We keep it super simple. If you don't implement this properly, you could still be stuck at $20,000 to $50,000 a month for the next year. Now, what is it that allows me to scale this service to $110,000 a month or my service to $250,000 a month? Well, it's a simple 5-step process with Facebook ads, and we'll start with step number 1. And for full transparency, I want to show you the KPIs for my client here. So we started off in January. We spent about $6,000 on ads. We did about $30,000 back. February, we spent about $18,000 and we got $90,000 back. In March, we spent $34,000 and got $102,000 back. So you can see all the stats here, the potential revenue, ROAS, everything like that. Sign ups, I want to show everything is on paper. It's not just all fluff and I'm making up some BS. So the first step with the campaign is to run a CBO that spends $100 a day. Then you make something called a dynamic creative test. And then you make an ad with 3 creatives inside of it. Now that might sound like a bunch of gibberish, I'm gonna jump into it, but I just wanted to lay it out here to make sure you guys see how simple this is once I actually dive into how to make it on the ads manager. Okay, so this is the client's ads manager here. You can see all the calls, he's getting everything like that, average cost per call. He's getting on average, I think it's about 30 to 40 pound cost per call lifetime, which is insane. Like, I would want anything under 100 pounds. So the fact that we're getting 30, 40 pound cost per call is really, really good. He is getting booked out like 3-4 days in advance. So it's helping out a lot with him scaling, and this is why he's actually able to scale. Okay, so first step would be to create a campaign. So we'll make a sales campaign. I optimize for sales. Hit continue. Now don't do Advantage plus campaign, keep it manual. Hit continue. Okay, now we're on the campaign level. I mean, you can name it whatever you want. I'm not too fussy with the names. What I like to do is what type of campaign it is, then the creative, and that's basically it. Maybe you want to put it a bit more detailed and stuff, but I like to keep it as simple and as basic as possible. So you can name it whatever you want. And then the key thing is you make sure that you turn on Advantage campaign budget. So you put it at $100 a day, or in this case is in pounds. So I'm gonna put it at £100 a day. And then you go on to the ad set level. Now that you're on the ad set level, you wanna make sure it's selected on website. You do obviously a pixel, you connect your pixel, and now this is the key part, is you have an active event called Invitee Meeting scheduled. How you do this is you just connect Calendly to your pixel and you'll be able to get this event. It's very straightforward, it takes like 5 minutes. If you're unsure how to do it, just DM me on Instagram, I'll show you how to do it, it's not too difficult. Now you tick Dynamic Creative, hit continue. And then you can leave all of this. I don't really touch any of that. Now, obviously with location, you target where you want to target. If you're just sending something to the US, then you'll just do the US. If it's just the UK, like we are doing, we're just targeting the UK. I leave everything else the same, no interest targeting, anything like that. Advantage plus placements, I don't touch placements either. Keep it all basic, all broad, no targeting at all. What I like to do is have the ads actually target the audience. So in your hook, that's what you want to have to target the audience instead of having it where your interest do it. Because you may restrict your campaign to target only a certain amount of people when there's actually more people out there that Facebook could target your ads to. Now, another key piece of advice I'll give for your campaign structure is make sure you have an Instagram page connected. And just on a side note as well, make sure you're posting on your Instagram. If you post on there and they see your content, it's going to add a lot of trust to your brand and your business, and you're going to actually get cheaper cost per call as a result. And you're going to grow your Instagram page as a result as well, because people are going to be more exposed to your brand. Everything else stays the same, so manual upload, single image or video. We don't do carousel, we leave multi-advertisers on. And then now you select video. So you'll select, I recommend 3 creatives. So you just upload 3, I'm just doing it for this example. You'd put in 3 creatives in here, optimize for each person. You put in your primary text, so you could put like an ad copy. I could show you one from one current campaign we're running. You put in a headline. If you're running a book call funnel, then I would recommend you put in book now or book your call today, something like that, to get them to book in. Obviously put your website, everything like that. And then for this option, I press none. We don't want them to directly call us. And then the call to action, we can set that as book now because we're running a book call funnel ad. So just to go over again, just to be as clear as possible, $100 a day, CBO, dynamic creative test with 3 creatives inside of it. And you keep it as broad as possible. Let Facebook do the work for you. Don't overcomplicate it, because this is exactly how I only spend 5 minutes a day on my ads, and I'm able to scale services past the 6-figure a month mark. I'll probably attach this in the link in the description if you want it for reference, or just take a screenshot of it. But I'll put the notes here as well to make it as obvious as possible what you need to do. Now, in terms of metrics, when you're running your ads, this is what I look at. So I only look at the budget, the amount spent, the results, cost per result, and frequency. I don't overcomplicate it with looking at CTR and CPM and all of this nonsense. Just look at the metrics that matter. And the reason why I do frequency is because it lets you know if your ad has become saturated or not, if you need to swap out ads, things like this. So it really helps with knowing, okay, when it's time to make a new creative. Okay, last part about the ads is actually how to scale your campaign. So you can see here, I put on the right, campaign performance in last 3 days. Is it good? So is the cost per call lower than $150? Industry standard, you're looking at least $150 cost per call. Maybe you want it less, maybe you want it a bit higher if you're in a higher ticket niche. But on average, you're looking at least $150 cost per call. So if it's less than that, I'll increase the budget by 20%. Now, if the cost per call is higher than $150, I'll look to decrease the budget by 20%. To give you guys a live demonstration, I'm gonna go into the last 3 days of these campaigns. And you can see here that one campaign here has got £153 cost per call. Now it's at the baseline £100 a day ad spend, so I'm not going to touch this one. I may actually look to turn this one off if it continues to perform poorly compared to the rest, including this one as well, £170 cost per call. But then you can see this one here has got a £70 cost per call. I did recently increase the budget on this one, so I'm not going to do it now. But if it continues to bring in a £70 cost per call while spending £600 a day, I'm going to increase it by another 20%. Okay guys, that's basically how I scale my ads, my ad strategy, everything that goes into scaling my service and for other services as well. It's literally plug and play. You can use the exact same strategy with your offer. As long as it's unique enough, you shouldn't have a problem scaling it with this strategy. I've done it time and time again, and it works again and again and again. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you reach out to me on Instagram. I do this stuff for free. I don't charge anything to begin with. So if you're interested in scaling your service, you're stuck at say 20, 30K a month, even 10K a month, and you have a good service, let me know, hit me up on Instagram, and I might just scale your service for free.